happened.
That was it. Wow.
That's the story.
That's an incredible story,
Yeah.
really.
That's what happened.
I don't think anybody's ever done that before. I mean,
Yeah, the closest thing to that was Stallone. And I got to know Sly really well.
With Rocky.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't, it was because they offered him a lot of money. At that time, they offered him, I think, $400,000. And Sly told me that he said no. But the difference with me was, because he ended up getting like nothing, 40,000 or something to do it. I ended up getting more than $1 million and was in it. So it only happens once every 15, 20 years, something like that. It happened Rocky, then in the 80s, Chazz Palminteri, then my big fat Greek wedding.
Yeah.
It's the only times it happened 3 times in history. That's it.
Amazing.
Pretty amazing, I know.
But I don't think anybody's ever played 18 roles in a one-man show.
No one's ever played it on stage.
Yeah.
I told you, people freak out. I have people come over to me and they go, Chazz, I saw the movie, I saw the musical, the one-man show is the best. I go, well, it's different. It's just a different thing, because what makes it special is I'm the guy. I'm really the guy. I'm Colosio. That's my name.
Right.
And I'm doing it on stage. And I'm not even ashamed. I'm not even embarrassed to say how great it is, because it is.
It is great.
It is great. I'm doing it 30 years.
Do you really enjoy doing it?
I love doing it.
Yeah.
I love doing it. And I love when people come to see it and they all stand up. And it's a thing that you have to see. It's like, you just got to see it. And I'm so proud of it, because it's my legacy. It's my mom and dad,
I got to say something. I'm into personal coaching, and I have a big crew. We have like 15,000 people in the crew.
Wow.
We got another, I think, 1,000 people that are in the inner circle.
Wow.
And one of the things I tell them is your drive, your motivation. You said it early on. You said you knew you were going to be a success.
Yeah, absolutely.
You knew it. And that's a quality that you gotta have. I think everybody that's successful has that quality, that they know it's going to happen. It's a matter of time. They're going to figure it out.
Right.
I look at myself that way, that no matter what happens, I'm going to survive. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to do it. And that's a quality that people should understand. If you want to be successful, you got to stick with it. You got to believe in yourself, and you got to do the work. And you did all of that.
You have to do it.
Look at the results.
And I still do it now. That's why I've been around for 35 years, because I still do the work. I still work hard. I still take everything seriously. I live my life in a good way. And I try. And that's why you're successful. And that's why look, there are people that just have a guardian angel on their shoulder. You have it. I have it. But you give back. For 25 years now, you give back. And the more you give back, the more God gives you. The more you give, the more you get back. And you don't give because you want to get something. You give because you feel it's in your heart to give it.
It's true, Chazz. And you know what? I really understand now that it is so much better to give than receive. I feel so much. Look, everybody likes a gift, nice.
Yes.
Because it comes from. But when you are giving and people are appreciating what you have to give, it's the greatest feeling.
The greatest. I walk around, I always have a card in my wallet that says the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. I have like 3 or 4, I usually carry 3 or 4 of them. And when I meet a young actor who'll come over to me and say, Mr. Palminteri, can I talk to you? I'm a young actor. And I said, all right. I said, yeah, I spend 3 minutes with him, 5 minutes with him on the street, whatever. That 5 minutes is nothing to me. To him, it's everything. It's everything. And I take out a card, and I give him a card. I say, here, take this card. Don't waste your talent, kid. I said, do whatever you can do. Don't waste your talent. And years later, I get these people that come over to me and go, you know what, you gave me a card. I'm starring on a soap now, many years ago, and I'll never forget that. I don't remember who they are, Michael. I really don't. And I just go, cool, man. Good. I'm glad you stuck with it. It's a feeling that you gave to somebody. Yeah. Sometimes I'll do a movie for not a lot of money, but it's a good part, and I'll get a film student who just graduated, and he has a part for me, and I'll read it, and I'll say, wow, this is a really good part. And I'll say, you know what? I'll do this for you. I'll do this movie. Don't get me wrong, it's a really good part.
Right.
I wouldn't do a bad part. I'll say, but I'll tell you what, the only thing I want, you got to promise me one thing. And he'll say, what? I said, when you become famous, because you will be, this is a really good script you wrote here. You have to spend time with other people and pay it back to them and talk to them like I'm talking to you. He says, I promise I'll do that. I said, okay.
Well, you know what I'm noticing too? You have a lot of confidence. You got to have confidence.
Yes.
You know, there's a difference between confidence and arrogance.
Totally.
Total difference. And you have a lot of confidence, and yet I can see there's a humility in you.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that because, you know, Chazz, in many ways, I feel the same way. I'll go and speak, and then I'm not kidding. I'll have, at a book signing, I'll have people, 200, 300, 400 people.
Right.
3-4 hours.
Right.
And I'll have people come up to me, Michael, whenever you want to leave. And you know what I say to them? Hey, if these people are going to wait 2.5 hours,
right.
I'm going to sit here and wait with them.
Exactly.
And you just feel good about it.
You just feel good.
You know, it's like
on Broadway,
you did something.
You
had
did
an impact,
something.
You know?
On Broadway, when you work a Broadway show, I love Broadway because you come out and there's all the wooden horses are there with the police and all the people lining up. They want to sign. And sometimes in the wintertime when you do a show, it's cold.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll get the producer say, Chazz, you know, it's freezing out there. I don't want you out there. You can't get sick. And I go, they're out there waiting for me? I'm going out there. And I go out there. And I sign, and I talk, and I sign, and I'm bundled up. Air's coming out of it. But you know what? Those people, when I could do another show, they come back. They see me again, Michael. I'll get fan things saying, this guy was out there, it was freezing. I do it.
And you know what? Not too many people do that. And I know that. I've been around the business a long time.
They don't. And nothing against them. That's the way they were brought up. Oh, that's the way they feel. And that's okay. My mom and dad taught me, my father always said, it's nice to be nice, Chazz. Be nice to people. Always be nice.
You know what my dad used to tell me in a different way? And he used to say to me, always be nice to the little people. And
yes.
he didn't mean that offensive.
No.
He didn't mean to be offensive.
Right.
He said, but the guy that parks your car, the waiter that comes
yes.
to you, the person that takes your coat, be nice to them because they're the people that appreciate your niceness. It's not the people on top.
No.
It's those kind of people.
Those people. Whenever I do a movie, I'm always talking with everybody. How you doing? You know, hey, how you feeling today? You know, the crib service guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, you know, we just start out. It's a thing to be a gentleman, man. But be humble. Like I said to you before we got on, I think, if you don't know who you are, you have to make believe who you are.
Right.
And you have to put on this air of like you're somebody. If you're happy within your own movie, be yourself.
Right.
If you don't like me for myself, okay, I get it. You don't have to, but I'm happy.
That's who you are, right?
You know, like, who said that? Oliver Wendell Holmes said, you know, be yourself. You know, everyone else is taken. You know, it was so true. You know, everybody else is taken. Just be yourself, man.
True.
And that's the great thing about you. You are yourself.
Well, listen, I always say this. I found out that we are who we are accountable to in life.
Yes.
And for me, you know, when I was on the street, I was accountable to my oath, my boss, the life. And as a result, I did the wrong things, Strad. You know, every day we lived, it was a criminal life. There's no way to sugarcoat it.
No way.
But, you know, come out of that life and I get fortunate and blessed enough now. I mean, I am a person of faith. I'm accountable to God. I'm accountable to my wife and children.
Right.
And the people that, you know, look up to me. And you don't want to disappoint them. You know, I'll tell you what I realized. You know, you're on the street, everybody's singing your praises, you know, I'm making a lot of money, a lot of people around me, and for a while it kind of gets into your head a little bit. And then the best thing that happened to me, I get arrested, I go to jail, I'm in a hole, and I said, look at this. Who do we really think we are in this life? Everything can change in 1 second. You could be up here, and then the next second you're down there. And it really had an impact on me. And you know, you got to realize that this life in 1 second, no matter who you are.
No matter who you are.
It could change in a second.
But see, the beauty with you, Michael, is that you were aware of that. Like, I like to read a lot of books about spirituality. I love about psychology. Rudolf Steiner, who talks about a person like you, it was very much similar to me. We were in the skin of the dragon. It's called being in the skin of the dragon. When you come out of the skin of the dragon, that's when you could speak, which is even because you could speak to people about changing their life around because because you've been there. You know it. You know what it's like. I grew up in the street, and I could speak to somebody about life and about what it's like to have nothing And it's a different type of, there's a different type of knowledge that you have. That's why some of these people in methadone clinics, they're all ex-addicts who turned it around because they could speak to you. You know, you speak as a mob guy. You were a mob guy. You know what that life is. I was never a mob guy, and I never claimed to be a mob guy. But I grew up with them, and I could imagine what it's like because I saw that they all end up bad. Bad, man.
It's true.
But someone like you turned your life around. It's a very admirable thing, man. And God blesses people like that. It says, hey, pay it forward. Turn it around. Do something with your life. And you did it. You know, and I think that's very commendable. I really do. Because when you leave this earth, the only thing you have, there's only two things you could leave when you leave this earth. You could leave, think about it, art, children. You could leave your will and what you left as a good person, or children, one or the other. That's it. Can't leave money, can't leave fame, can't leave nothing.
You're right.
And I always tell people, in chess, the king and the queen, they go in the box at the end.
A couple of weeks back, I sat down with Lillo Brancato.
Yes. I saw that.
You saw it?
Yes, I did.
Chazz Palminteri, no, he's reached out, but in a negative way. He was on the news or whatever when I first came home. Because I think, you know, obviously it's a story just to ask, you know, there's a story in it asking Chazz, what do you feel about the kid coming home and blah, blah, blah. And you would think because he was from the Bronx and the neighborhood and the movie was about his life and that he didn't tell on Sonny that would be in him and that he's that kind of guy. But then when I got in trouble and I came home, he says, I don't want anybody to make any mistake that I have anything to do with this kid. And like really threw me under the bus. You know, like I didn't really care, but it was more about my father. Because my father was like, Lillo, these are people, they know your friend. Because my father knew Chazz. Like, you know, my father and mother like were so grateful and thankful for what these men were doing for me and this opportunity of a lifetime. You know, my mom and dad used to bring trays of food on the set. We would invite my mom and dad would wait on these men hand and foot. And off the strength of that alone, you shouldn't have said that, Chazz. You know, just don't say anything. You don't have to say he's a jolly good, you know, he's a jolly good fan. You don't have to do that. But at the same time, you knew my mom and dad, you know. But listen, me personally, I have nothing personal against him because at the end of the day, I mean, I did make him look bad. These guys gave me an opportunity of a lifetime. And, you know, I went and did what I did and someone ended up dead, you know. So I got to take responsibility for that. And, you know, so like I said, I'm not upset at Chazz. I wish he just would have chose his words a little different, but it is what it is.
Tough life, made some mistakes,
Yes.
turned it around. I think he's really trying.
Yes, he
You know,
is.
I felt really good about speaking with him.
He is trying, yes, and I'm happy that he is. And see, yeah, look, I don't want to get into it too much, but I can a little bit. When he first, Michael, I saw him before he got in trouble. For 10 years, I would run into him, okay? And he'd be at a bar and drinking and making, you know, who am I, you know? And I used to tell him, I said, Lillo, I don't understand something with you. You're in the quintessential movie about not wasting your life. And that's what you're doing. He said, come on, get going. Michael, they used to call, Penny Marshall called me. And you know what, all right, I'm going to say it. Penny Marshall called me about him, about putting him in her movie. She said, well, you know, Chazz, is this guy all right? And I said to her, I said, Penny, incredibly talented, gifted. I said, if he's got his head on right, he's great. But I can't account for what could happen. I can't, Penny. And she said, okay. And she put him in the movie, and he was great. And any movie he's in, he's great. This kid could have been as big as anybody. I'm telling you this, Michael. Talented like you cannot believe. He could do characters, he could do accents, he could do mannerisms. Talented kid. A week before, maybe a week or 2 weeks before he got in trouble, okay? He came to see, he called me, he said, I want to come and see you. I want to have a meeting with you, I want to do this movie. I said to him, I said, all right, when do you want to, he goes, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock at night? He goes, no, 8 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning? I said, Lillo, what kind of meeting you want? He goes, oh, I can only do 8 o'clock in the morning. I said, well, look, I'm up early, I work out. You want to come over? He brings this guy over, 8 o'clock in the morning. And I realized it. And my wife tells me, she goes, I said, honey, I got to meet him. She goes, honey, come on. Why does he want to go? He goes, because he's not sleeping all night, and he wants to wake up, and he doesn't want to sleep and come right to you after on one of his binders. And I said, gee, why didn't I think of that? My wife thought of that, you know. 8 o'clock in the morning, this guy comes over with this guy who I won't mention. He doesn't need his name mentioned. Anyway, he comes over to my house and he says to me, I want you to write this movie about this guy, about me, whatever this movie. This is all legit, Mike, right? This is the truth. And I said, Lillo, you know, for whatever reason, I said, you know, I don't think. I don't want to do it, Lillo. I said to him. So he's walking out, and right at my door, in my home, I say to him, I turn, I said, what are you doing? I'm looking in his eyes, and I know right away. You know, I grew up with junkies. Come on. I said, what are you doing? No, I swear to God, I'm not going to do it. Once in a while, you know, junkies lie. They will
all the time.
They can't tell the truth. They can't. You know that. I promise. I said, and I tell him again, you have so much. You have so much, Lillo. What do you? I said, you're going to end up in a jackpot. Trust me. It's going to happen. Trust me. He leaves. 2 weeks later, I get a phone call. Boom. I get a phone call from a DA. Called me. Said, your friend Lillo, boom, on the street. Cop got killed. Whack, boom, whatever. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. So to make a long story short, he went away. He ended up doing a dime in jail. Yeah. Okay. He gets out, and they call me up. And they say, and I did speak to him when he was in the joint. He called me once. I spoke with him. Nice. I called. It was a collect call, I remember. We spoke friendly on the phone. But I was very disappointed in him because I tried so hard, Michael. I really, when I seen him, I would try. And he had great parents. He said that on the thing. I love his parents. His parents are great. And the reporter called me, and what I said was, they said, well, he wants to come and... I was set up a little bit, and I should have been. I was a little upset. But he said to me, well, he's getting out, and he's going to see you and De Niro about getting back together. And I said to the guy, I said, listen to me. I don't want any part of it. I'm not going to be... we're not... I can't remember exactly what I said, but I didn't say anything bad like they put. I said, I don't want any part of it. I'm not going to see him. I'm not going to help him. I wish him well, let him do what he wants to do. Next day in the papers, it said, Chazz Palminteri says, creep, drop dead. I never said that. You know how
right. Yeah.
They want to sell newspapers. And that's what he said. And I think his father saw that, and that's what they thought. I said, I did not say that. What I did say was, I don't want to be his friend. I don't want no part of it. I did say that. That I verified. I say that. What happened was, you know, I do a lot for the NYPD. I do, my partner who was with me for years, his father was a detective, he was a DA. We started a charity organization for NY. So I can't do it. I'm sorry.
No, I get it.
You understand? I love his parents. His parents were great, and I was very disappointed in him. And I'm glad, let's get for the record straight right now, I'm glad that he's doing well, and he's talking to other people and helping kids. Just like you're helping people, and I try to help people, I'm glad he's doing that. But to be friends anymore, I can't.
Chazz, you know what, I understand. Look, I have a brother, same thing.
Right.
I can't even begin to tell you how many times that kid disappointed us, how much headache we had. Until today, he straightened himself out.
Right.
But that's okay. I love you, you're my brother, but we're not doing anything together.
That's it.
And that's the way I feel, and I understand. When you go through somebody disappoints you so many times,
I was
of course
so disappointed.
I heard it a different way. I get it. I totally
get
it.
But I don't wish him bad. I'm glad that he straightened his life out. I'm glad that he's helping people, but I can't be friends. It's just that simple.
And that's perfectly understandable. No doubt. Machiavelli.
Yes.
I don't know anybody else other than my old friends on the street that were into Machiavelli.
Yeah. I would bet my life that you were always likable and you were always like a star. They told me, if you see him, stay away from him. They told my father that. My father knew right away he was getting whacked. Sure in hell, 2 days later, gone.